Unlike anything anybody could have imagined, even as recently as a year ago, I think what we're discovering is how intertwined so many issues are, so that energy is not just an energy issue, it's a national security issue, it's an economic issue. We're going to have to think about how we solve these problems from a comprehensive perspective. You can't just pull out one thread and do something to resolve that. Everything unravels, everything has to be woven back together.
But part of where we're seeing this new reality is a change in the landscape. We had a term of art throughout most of the second half of the 20th century called the Cold War. We have a new Cold War. It's a standoff between Russia and all the other countries who possess and own these resources, who want the value for the resources. We need to redesign the way we think about the world and think about these resource-rich countries and how we interact with them and how they interact with us. So we're both at the table together on an equal footing, so we have true interdependence, mutual interdependence. But up till now, we're now almost into the first decade of the 21st century, we have a world of mistrust. Europeans don't trust this overdependence on natural gas that they have on Russia. Look at us and our dependence on our oil resources. Look at Japan. It imports 95% of its resources, and it trusts its partners, and they interact differently. We have to rethink the whole landscape of the 21st century because of energy.
So we now live in a new world, a world where the possibility of a sustained supply interruption threatens the world economy, a world where oil and the nations who have it can dominate the geopolitical stage. And in this new world, there seems to be one thing that everyone agrees upon. There is no easy way out, no quick fix, no magic bullet.
What we as a people fundamentally misunderstand is that we can't do this overnight. These are huge time horizons in order to change the infrastructure. You're talking about years of cars to turn over in their fleets. You're talking about trillions of dollars over 100 years of investment. And we are not going to go cold turkey, or is it even possible to go cold turkey?
We do have a tendency to want to go for the quick fix. There's no quick fix here. We could release some fuel from the SPRO. Maybe it'll have a momentary impact, but we could be right back where we find ourselves, in the fall, next spring, next summer, if we don't start to take some more significant, serious long-term steps.
People are so cynical and skeptical that they believe there's some silver bullet out there that's been kept in a case that just needs to be brought out. And we like to believe that. We like to believe either through technology or some kind of innovation or some other fix, there'll be something out there that will rescue us so we don't have to pull together.
So what do we do now? How do we begin to solve this problem?
Energy security and climate change are the biggest threat and opportunity to mankind, not just the United States, but to mankind. World War II was the last thing the world witnessed on anywhere near this scale. But this is a scale that's beyond that. It's much bigger and with a bigger impact for the total globe. This will be the biggest transformation in the next 2 generations the world will ever see.
What we need to do is change the paradigm of the entire political and intellectual dialogue in the country, because it's not oh yes, oil embargoes and shortages are a danger, yeah, but it's a kind of a cost of doing business sort of thing. Like we viewed terrorism before 9/11, yeah, it's a nasty thing, we need to worry about it, but it's a cost of doing business when you're a superpower. This is not a cost of doing business issue anymore. It is life-threatening to our institutions and our way of life.
Most great presidencies are born of crisis. Something happens that the president is required to summons a response from the American people. We've got that kind of crisis now. I think authentic, genuine, bold, and truthful conversation with the American people about the challenge that we face is required.
I personally believe that the American citizen wants more and is demanding more from the leadership we have. They're confused. They're not sure where to go. They need serious discussion to them of the issues. They need leadership that says, the world has changed.
There are cases where you see the big disaster coming, but it doesn't come on a day like 9/11, where suddenly there was nothing the day before in the way of death and destruction, and it all occurs on one day. This is not like that. This is coming gradually, here, there, in the economy, in national security, in climate change, and we're beginning to see it little by little, that you can't deny it anymore, and you can't pretend it's not important anymore. That's good news, because unlike the proverbial frog that gets put in the pot and the heat's slowly turned up and the frog doesn't notice it, because it's just a little bit at a time, we're smarter than a frog. And we can see, yes, the evidence is now here. It would have been nice if we saw the evidence and acted on it 10 years ago, but the evidence is now here, and we can still make a decision to act. It's not too late.